President Bola Tinubu-led administration may come to an abrupt end tomorrow following the landmark ruling by Judge Nancy Maldonado, the presiding judge of Northern District Court, Illinois in Chicago, which ordered Chicago State University to release its academic records to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP). Despite several attempts by Tinubu and his team of lawyers to sway the United States court with unnecessary objections, no-nonsense Judge Nancy Maldonado adopted all the ruling of Magistrate Judge Jeffrey Gilbert in the wee hours of today, which had earlier ordered Chicago State University to release its academic records. Judge Maldonado, in what seems to be a brutal smackdown on Tinubu, gave Chicago State University until 12 p.m. on Monday to release the documents and the deposition of officials of Chicago State University completed by 5 p.m. CDT on Tuesday. She further warned Tinubu against further appeal as the court would not entertain such. This is coming after she said on Saturday that emails from Nigerians anticipating her decision on whatever or not she will order Chicago State University to release Tinubu's records was quite overwhelming. Okay? Parrot Vibes reports that President Bola Tinubu had pleaded with the U.S. judge to save him from suffering severe and irreparable damage by placing an emergency hold on the ruling of Judge Jeffrey Gilbert, who ordered for his Chicago State University records to be made available. According to Tinubu, the damage he would suffer would be hard to mitigate if the September 6 judgment of Judge Gilbert directing the release of his academic records to Atiku Abubakar is not delayed for possible vacation. Severe and irreparable harm will be done to Bola Tinubu if the records are released. Mr. Tinubu's lawyer argued at an emergency appeal before Judge Nancy Maldonado of the United States District Court for the Northern District of Illinois in Chicago. If the records are released, harm will be done and cannot be taken back to the bottle. Recall that Mr. Abubakar has been seeking to obtain records of Mr. Tinubu at Chicago State University following widespread inconsistencies with the Nigerian president's academic records already in the public domain. Abubakar's application was granted in a judgment issued by Mr. Gilbert, who ordered the production of the documents as well as the deposition of the school's administrators. The former vice president is plotting to use the records to demonstrate Mr. Tinubu's ineligibility for president, relying on the constitutional section that disqualifies a candidate who submitted a forged certificate to the Electoral Office (INEC). Though CSU officials had insisted that Mr. Tinubu attended the school, but they have also said they could not authenticate his certificate under oath because they couldn't tell where he found it. However, the latest order by Judge Nancy Maldonado could possibly mark an end to President Bola Tinubu's administration. From the constitutional and moral standpoint, if his Chicago State University records turns out to be forged, it is expected of him to resign immediately. Failure to do, the National Assembly will commence his impeachment process because he has committed an act of perjury. Speaking on the ruling by Judge Nancy Maldonado, Osita Chidoka, a former Minister of Aviation, described it as a national shame. He said a forged certificate finding leaves President Tinubu in a vulnerable position morally and legally, while blaming the DSS and other agencies for not doing their job they were created for. Chidoka noted that the reputation of Nigeria is still in tatters because of the failure of national institutions to perform due diligence no matter who is involved. He said, if it turns out tomorrow that our president presented a forged certificate to INEC, Nigerians will bow down their heads globally in shame. On the other hand, if it turns out that his certificate is genuine, again, our reputation as a people is still in tatters because of the failure of national institutions to perform due diligence no matter who is involved. On both counts, it reinforces global perceptions and prejudice against Nigerians. We all bear the burden. So that is just what this whole thing is really talking about. There are a lot of things that this man said, a lot of instances here and there. Well, some people are of the opinion that INEC is supposed to be blamed for this national disgrace and ridicule. Why did they approve of Tinubu's presidential candidacy in the first place when he could not even present primary and secondary school certificates as clearly stipulated by the Nigerian constitution? This was how the same INEC accepted a NEPA bill instead of a secondary school certificate from Buhari from the 2015 presidential election. As long as INEC continues to cut corners, we will continue to have similar problems. President Tinubu, a strategist, he has given the obedience and another diversion topic. At least this will cause them 1 month of wailing and abuse. Can you imagine what somebody is saying? At least some more followers will know, and the world will know too, that the president select of Nigeria is a certificate forger and chief corrupt leaders with agberos and corruption lover supporters continue to suffer and smile. In the event that the certificate is forged, Tinubu should, as a matter of face-saving grace, go into voluntary exile or face impeachment and prosecution. Otherwise, heaven will fall. So, guys, let's hear your opinion. Let's know what you think. Thanks for always listening. Bye.